Hi, this is Satiris, and this is day 26 of the 30-day video challenge. And today's video, I wanted to talk about the price of being cheap. Now, I very recently have noticed a few different people who, for the last few years, every time I see them, every time I talk to them, every time I hear all these sort of, sob stories about money and income and about how bad things are and everything like that. But the thing that I've seen over and over again is that, they've both been offered, a good business which can make a lot of money. And they really haven't put any effort at all into the business. They haven't done anything. And, basically, they start the business. After a while, they stop paying for it. They cancel it. And then 2 or 3 years later, they're back in the same situation. And they're starting the business all over again, which they should have started in the first place. And then, a month or two later, they don't like paying money for their business and they leave it again. They don't do any work. They don't do anything, right? And what this does is this cheapness or this, anti wanting to not pay for things, this sort of cheapness keeps them broke, right? So it's sort of a mixture of being cheap and not wanting to pay for something and not putting any effort in, so it's sort of both of those things that are sort of keeping them broke. But in general, in life, with most things or with anything, in a lot of cases, you tend to get what you pay for, okay? So, if you think you're being cheap and you buy, the lowest price, car or whatever, you might be able to sort of look at somebody else who's driving a better car or a more reliable car, one that doesn't break down every day and go to the garage and cost you more money than the reliable one. But what it does is it keeps you in that sort of cheap position that you never really have what you actually wanted in the first place. You never get what you deserve because you're always being cheap, right? You're always trying to save a couple of pence here or, make sure nobody else gets money. And the thing about being cheap as well, as I pointed out in a video that I did before, if you actually look at how it works, by not putting out money, by not paying out money, it's not yourself that you're actually saving, right? You're not benefiting yourself. So, like, if you don't pay for anything or you want everything for free, you may think it's benefiting you, right? Because you're not having to pay for it. But if you actually look at it realistically, that money, say you had $200, right? That money goes around loads and loads of people. And as I pointed out in a video recently that I did a video, and in the video, it was basically the difference between somebody paying $200 for something and somebody getting it for free, right? Now, what actually happened in that video, that money, that $200 actually got passed around about 6 different people, right? And all those 7 people, and all those 7 people got the value. They got $200 of value. They got what they're paid for, right? And at the end, what was really funny about that story was the $200 ended up coming back to the person who had the money in the first place, right? And then the person who paid the $200 in the first place came back and asked for a refund, okay? So they basically asked for their $250 back, or $200 back, and the person gave them their $200 back. But what I'm trying to point out was, in the meanwhile, that $200, which in the end they asked for back, that created $1,400 of value for other people, and they all got $200 worth of goods or services from that money, okay? Even though in the end it actually ended up back with, it was a hotel owner, right? He ended up, a husband and wife had booked a room, and they came in and cancelled it, and they asked for their money back, right? But that money created $1,400 worth of value to all these different people, okay, or $200 to each person, so $1,400 worth of value. And by the hotel owner charging nothing for the hotel room, that means that people wouldn't have got $1,400 of value, right? So when you're going around, being cheap and saying, oh, I'll take the £2 site builder, the free site builder, instead of the paid one for $30 or $40, or I'll take a free autoresponder because that'll save me $17 a month. Really, you're not saving yourself anything, because you're going to attract other people like that, right? And all those people are going to be trying to rob you of $20 or $30 each. So if you have 100 customers that got robbing you of $30 each, right, that's going to cost you $3,000 a month, okay? So being cheap really doesn't benefit anybody, okay? Being cheap doesn't benefit anybody. So before you're cheap, or before you think about doing things cheaply, think about the results. Another thing I like to say is, when you do buy something, or you do something, take part in it fully, okay? So if you buy a website, start posting on it every day, and actually offer something, or sell something, or create some value. Do something, because you won't get results and you won't make money unless you're actually putting out good information, things that will help people. And yes, by all means, promote things that you'll pay for yourself. Okay, now the downside is, if you're somebody who won't pay for anything and tries to do everything for free or cheaply, you're going to end up with a whole load of customers who are freeloaders, and they're not going to pay anything, so you're going to be broke. And then that'll make you even more stingy, so your life will suck even more. So definitely not something I recommend. The price of being cheap is, you're always going to be cheap. You're going to be cheap in everything. You're going to be eating cheap. You're going to be driving a cheap car. You're going to have a cheap attitude. You're going to be trying to, cheat people out of money. Cheat yourself. You'll be cheating yourself out of money more than you're actually cheating anybody else. So the price of being cheap is too painful and too expensive for me. But of course, each person has their own idea. So that's it from me for today's video. I will see you again in the next one. Thanks very much for watching, and have a good day. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button and you will get notified anytime I do any more videos, just by clicking the subscribe button, and there's a little bell button you can click, and it'll notify you of any new videos that I do. Thanks very much. Bye for now.